Back to another episode of the Codersarts. So in previous video we have already talked about how the type functions work and also and different use cases of type functions. Okay, and so that was very interesting video, so I think I'm recommending please watch that video, and even the type function and the string operations part. Okay, so this was also important one. So if you want to be a good developers in Python, good developers, so that as this is a very basic things, but once your solid foundation is built, then later part of your programming and the coding journey will be more easier. Okay, so I just recommending watch all the video. All videos are important, so that will cover whole the concept about the data types, what are the different data types, and what are the different type of tasks you generally have to perform during the day-to-day development work. Okay, so in last video we have talked about type functions. Okay, now we are going to talk about type conversion. Okay, so what is meaning of type function? So type function was in first previous video, it was basically how to use type function and what are the use of that type function. Type function, I'm talking about this one. For type function basically used to check the data type of any variables. Okay, but in today video we are going to see how we do some type conversion. So type conversion means converting the data between different data types. Suppose if we have integers, okay, integer data type, and you have to convert into to a string, okay, or str string, or sometime you have float value, or maybe sometime you have a string to float, or a string to int. Okay, so there might be anything. Okay, so based on your task or requirement of the coding. Okay, but most of the time, data will be form of the string, and you have to convert into different data type like float, boolean, means bool. So so why I'm not writing the complete name? Okay, so int, str, string. So also when you have to converting certain data type, okay, so also you have to remember what are their their class name. So suppose int, so integers basically belongs to int class, str belongs to uh, str sorry, string belong to str, and there is something I think you have already let me show you in the previous video if there is something. Okay, let me show you. Okay, that was the output. I'm going to run it again. Okay, so that was type functions, this one. Let's reopen it. I'm going to run it again. Okay, so make your understanding clear. Okay, okay, so see, this I'm talking about this one. Okay, so you have to, this one is you have to remember this one, like integers class is int. Okay, and float class is float, string is str, and bool is no, for boolean that is bool. Okay, so that's why this one. So this concept is going to be useful here. Okay, so when we are converting one data type to another data type. Okay, so this is basic concept. Okay, and okay, okay, so let's do how we can do that. So let me check once time if there anything more can be done here. Okay, 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 not fine. So let's first let's start the coding part. Okay, so open any Python editor. So I am using Python default editors. Maybe you are using anyone, so you can choose, that is not any concern. Let's create some files. Okay, and give the any standard name of the files. So let's see, first type here type conversion. Okay, type conversion means type basically means, type means you can see the category. Okay, or data type. Okay, so type means anything, might be integer type or float type, boolean type, string type. So type means a different category of data type. Okay, so I think this is a normal English uh, term I'm just explaining. So let me save it, give it some name like type conversion. okay, and .py by default it's so extension. So but if you are using some normal things, or try to save with this file name extension of Python is .py, okay, but it's auto detecting. You can see this is a format already saving, so I don't have to explicitly write here. Okay, fine. So let's do the programming part. So first I'm going to define any numbers, okay, so number, and assign some value equal to 10, okay, and then first print the value of my number, okay, fine. So how we can do that? Just we have to call the print function, and inside this print function call the number my number, okay, and my number value is 10. So let's run it. Okay, so the value is 10, fine. And what we have to do next we are going to do, let's convert my number, let's convert my number to a float and print the result. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to convert this number to float. Okay, so let's print it. So let's first do the steps to, okay, then we will print it. Either we can do directly, we can also do, but I'm just making it more clear. My number float equal to, so we have to call the float classes. Once you are, there is some keyword, so by default you can see the color is changing. So according to your editor, all the keywords will be highlighted to different color variables, and any constant value will be highlighted with different colors, and function will be highlighted with different colors. Okay, so just for sake of understanding, I'm explaining this one. So when you are understanding or writing the code, so try to also check how these are different syntax are highlighted, so that would be easier later. Okay, so in this line of code, what we are going to do, first I'm going to define some variables, and then with the help of equal to sign I'm going to store value to this one. So see, if we want to convert any numbers, not numbers, so basically we have to confirm, and we have to check what is your target data type. Okay, we have to convert this data type, my number data, to float, but in current situation my number data is what? Number. So I don't think this one is more important. This might be even a string, or this might be even any other data type, but our targeted is float. We have to convert into the float. So irrespective of what is their source data type, right? What is the data type of this okay, so these variables. Okay, these variables means my number. So my number might be string, integers, boolean, or anything like that, but if your data type is boolean and try to convert in float, so this will say error, because boolean is a string, like characters, and float value only should be numerical alpha, numerical value, not alphanumeric or something. Okay, so I will explain later, but just I'm giving the idea. Okay, so I think this is the number, this is a correct syntax, correct name of the variables. Fine, so we have converted this my number value to the float, and we have to call like that. We have to call the float functions, and then inside float function we have to pass these variables as a argument. Okay, or we can say parameter. Now we have to print this one. So now I'm going to print, so my number. Okay, so what we have to print this one, okay, because not this one, because after converting we have to see how this output work. Okay, also if you want to check the data type later after conversion, so also you can check this one. So and what is the output? Okay, so let's see and run it. Okay, so you can see 10 is this one. Okay, and 10.0. okay, so 10.0, why? Because see, as you can say, as a level of value, only the value is changed. Okay, but not like I'm just saying in the term of unit, that will be same. Even the 10 and 10.0 is same, but the idea is here, if we want to convert some any decimal value or something like that, so that might be very helpful, and somewhere it's needed. Okay, so okay, so this was thing. So I'm just explaining 10 and 10.0. You think it's the same, right? But there is no any difference in value, but there is formatting and displaying the numbers and displaying the value is only the difference, right? So do you think this is a very good example of this one? Not, this is not good example. You can, yeah, but converting the data type it the same way. Okay, but for other examples you can take, like suppose I was explaining like my number, okay, and make sure give some any name, okay, random name, random. So because I'm just explaining one scenario. Suppose you are reading files or some taking input from the user, but you don't know, so maybe user are typing directly 1 2 3, right? I think if you are already aware how to take input, okay, from the users, so if you take any input from the users, by default that is a string, okay, and a string, anything we have given or we are taking as input, that is a string with a user prompt. Okay, so in that case, let's say I'm talking about the my input, and my input I am storing something like this 10.9 or 5 something. Okay, so now if we are converting this string value to float, then it makes sense, right? And also because that is important one. But in case of number, yeah, this might be happen in some case when you're performing some additions. Okay, I'm just explaining like see my number, okay, and if try to add with some float value, okay, let's 10 point something 5 my number 1 or something like that. Okay, but in that case, okay, so let's call the variables name. Okay, so see this one. Okay, so let's first evaluate the right side. So my number is number, and this number with the help of addition we are using float value. Okay, so this might work or not, that is different story, but I'm just saying whenever we are trying to convert this one, and if there is some certain conditions or certain necessity, like where we need to convert both, addition should be in float, because this is float, so this number also should be in float. Okay, because we are doing a number addition, so sometime we can do number additions. Okay, number additions, integer addition with float, that is correct, but a resultant data type will be in this one. Okay, float value. Okay, so that that was I was explaining. So in this case, okay, so let's show me one more example here. Let's and call this my input, and my input is a string, and just directly, still I haven't converted. Okay, so my input, I think it's a little bit I'm making the complex, but that is necessity or need here. Okay, because that is very important concept. I will explain taking with the help of one input also where the use of type conversion, that is very important one. Okay, so my input I've already called my input. Okay, and then call it float to make everything more formatted and organized. Okay, let's run it. Okay, see in 10.5, okay, and if there is something 10, okay, so I think in this case 10 or 10.0 still makes sense, because we have to use, just we have to denote this is a type of format, this is a type of float. But 10.5 is sometime that time is unnecessary, like 10.5 is the correct like more, I think just as a number there is some decimal point, so just I'm trying to explain, there might be some decimal point that it makes some sense, and there it's needed. Okay, so when you have to convert any data type to float, so you can convert, I'm just in this first example I'm trying to convert everything to the float. Okay, So what will the source data type? Okay, so your source data type, it might be integers and then you can convert to the float. It might be string and then you can convert to the float. And even let's make it the boolean. Okay, my input, okay, and bool, or let's my input, my bool. Okay, so let's say is raining. Okay, so let's something different. Okay, and true. So can we convert it to, can we convert this to float? What you are thinking? It possible? Let's make it, you know, more specific. Let's cut this one, paste it here, and 10.5. So 10.5 is, yeah, that is fine. 10.5, let it make it here. Just I'm organizing the code, nothing else. Okay, so now is raining. So can we convert this to the float? What are you thinking? Think about it and then do here. Okay, and just I'm going to doing the same operations. Okay, and then run it same way. Just we have to copy this code and paste it here and just make it the, okay, so let's run this one. Okay, so what are you thinking? What why you are getting 1.0? Okay, so basically the, if you are using true or false value, okay, so by default in as a systems understand this is a 1, and if this is false then this is understood 0. Okay, so if we are, I'm just explaining one, so if you are know the concept of enumerators, okay, so you can type it. I'm just giving one examples. Okay, just type what the enumerators, so you can define your one, you can define your own enumerator. So this is fixed enumerators, like these are given by the Python, true or false is the boolean. But you can also create, like instead of I'm just giving my name, like suppose, you know, I give to this like something like that. I want to give this name, and this name is to train to some value 20 or 40, and because if 20 or 10 is every time useful, okay, so I'm going to call some value, some name. So just like, you know, creating the alias, just like you have one name, okay, so that name, one person can have many name, right? And there is some official name, there is some person calling whom at different names, some friends is calling with different name. But if you want to have store some value, and just you have to call this function, okay, so that is fixed number or something like that. Just like, you know, I'm talking about the pi value. Okay, so pi is always fixed. Okay, 3 point, I'm not sure what is the value of the pi, 3 point something 14 or 71, I think. Value of pi, it will be, okay, the value of pi, I think 3.71, what is called 3.14. okay, 3.14, correct one. Okay, so it's like that. You can also see 4.1, it's like that. So every time I do not have to, you know, type this value, because I know this is a fixed value. So that time we can create something like that. Okay, so so you can create any number of such value. So what is that called? That is called enumerators. Okay, I'm just, is this any programming language, enumerator is available. Okay, so enumerators, you can see enumerate in Python. Okay, so maybe any website you can follow and check. I will discuss later, but not in this video, but this was concept. Okay, so why this one is true and false is only working, right? But anything else, even you can have some numerical value. Okay, so I'm just saying, if, because we are using true here, but in at system level that is 1. Okay, but will this work if there is something? Okay, so I'm try to explain one more example. Okay, this one. Okay, so let's replace this. So now the value of my input is 10.5. okay, so what will happen if I am using some alphanumeric value? Okay, so any alphabets, okay, inside this one. So what you're thinking, still this is a correct one. So my float and my input float, this one. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so you can see we are getting error, could not convert a string to the float. Why we cannot convert a string to the float? Because see, if you are converting something, you already know, so that should be any numerical value, right? In numerical value is whatever things we are using in writing our number, so it's either should use 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so because of the whole number system are built on these characters, okay, not any other character. Okay, so if a b c d e f, so these are these are not mathematical, these are English, English one. Okay, so that's why when we are converting any string to the float value, so all the digits, or we can say the lower level characters, so all the characters should be numeric in the like 0 1 to 9. Okay, 0 1 2, so only this should be. If there is something else, okay, so that might be issue. There might be one hack here. Okay, but it might be something like that. So why this is allowed by Python? Because we have to assign, like, let's print it first. Okay, then I will explain. Okay, again this is issue. Okay, so I will explain. There might be some case. Okay, okay, I don't think this is that is part of formatted string. Okay, if I'm going to that way, it will take more time. Okay, so there is one concept. Okay, so suppose we are something like that. Okay, and we have to print some round off type of things. Okay, then we have to somehow we have to mention something like that. We like, if there is 10 decimal point, okay, and if you want to print only 2 or 3 decimal point, so we have to assign something like 3f, okay, or dot 5f. So I don't go in detail about this one. Okay, so it's like only I want to do round up to only 3 decimal points, so we have to assign something like that, but just I will explain in the later video. Okay, but that is not relevant to this one. In this one only we have to understand how to convert to the different data type. Okay, so we have already understood how we can convert into number to the float, string to the float, boolean to the float. What else is a float is already there. To float and float to float is not mandatory, right? Why we are trying to convert it. Similarly, if we want to convert any data type to another data type, so we have to go with the same flow, same way in, like, if we have to convert it to the string, okay, so you have to call list int function, and inside int function just you have to call your input value. Okay, so here should be input value, just you have to pass. Again you have to converting something to the string, so that we have to call str. Okay, so str and my string. Okay, and also already talk about the float. You have to convert into float. We have to use float value, not float value, any input value. Make it input value. Okay, similarly if you have to convert to the boolean, so bool, and inside this bool we have to call same way input value, any value, it might be input value. Okay, so let's use some preset code I have already written for make it faster. Okay, because I have already explained one. Okay, so let's paste it here. Okay, so this was our explanations till now. So converting my number to the string. Okay, so you can see str function is calling, prompt the user to enter a number. So yeah, this was the interesting part I have to discuss. I'm just going to discuss, but first going to explain. So convert the user input to the float, convert the user input to the string or print. Okay, yeah, fine. So the case is here, we have already assigned some value, 10 or any constant value. We are already fixed it. Okay, but I want to check, or we want to do like that, I want to make the dynamic value. Okay, so every time I'm typing something, okay, so or because I want to use different input value. Okay, and that input value should be based on the user input. Means let's run it first program. Okay, then okay, so 10 is this one, this is already some value 10, and now our this one is prompt the user to enter a number. So here part you can input anything, either you can characters, number, anything you can input. Okay, but you have to make sure how you are converting into. So you are converting to the float and we are converting to the string. So if you are converting to the float, so whatever character you are giving as an input, it should be only numeric. So only if there is numeric value, then it will convert it to the float. Okay, so let's type something like 34.98, something like that. Okay, and